What up, guys? This is me, Brandon from G Swaps, and basically I'm just going to do a little recap of where I'm at with the car right now. I've done a lot of things and really getting close. I'm down to maybe the last $100 and I'll have the same running, honestly. I can't wait. So I've got a Greddy boost controller I've mostly hooked up. Got my max solenoid here. It's basically wired all the way to both of these wastegates here and right here. There's a T fitting under here. Get a better view. Basically under there, and you can see my T fitting between them, and that runs over to here, so it ties in both of the wastegates together into a T, and then that T runs to the max solenoid input. So there's another line coming from right here, and that's going to be basically, I ended up having to pull the whole turbo off and tap this to put that fitting there. There's going to be a line coming from there all the way, and it travels under here. It's all zip tied nice and pretty. You can see the tie right there, and it runs to right here. Basically, that's the this is the input, and that's the exit on the max solenoid, basically. So I've started the fuel system. I know I was going to make a video on it, but I just didn't really have time to. And I'm almost finished with it. My return line system is basically an Aeromotive return line, and it'll come, this line here will come from the fuel rail, which is not here right now, the intake's not on, and it'll basically come into here, and then this line here goes to the fuel cell, which is already hooked up. So this line here is my feed line that comes from the fuel pump. This one here comes from the fuel pump into my filter, and this is going to be mounted like that underneath the intake manifold, or above the intake manifold, and this line here will go into my fuel rail over here, which is not there because it's not bolted up. Okay, as for today, I have a few things to do wiring wise. I've got to fix a connection on my idle air control valve. Basically the wires were just so brittle and they just kind of fell apart. I got to finish putting together the rest of the fuel, the wiring and the intake on here. And then I also have to fix a temperature sensor plug, because I guess that one popped off too. So just a couple dang things, and this thing will be up and going. I'm not really expecting it to take no more longer than a couple hours to finish what I'm doing. It's not really a whole lot left. I'll go ahead and show you the fuel cell and fuel lines. They're basically running. I'm going to have to tuck them up there better, but they're running from under the dash. That's the feed line, and they end up right here. So I have two fuel pumps. I'm going to shorten one of these lines because I'm going to use part of it for the after the filter. Basically the line that goes to the rail. I have to make that. And there's the fuel cell sitting back there all nice and pretty. I don't have it fully bolted down yet. I'm getting to that right now. I've kind of got a rector set type of mounting plates for it, or I may go heavier. Somebody said I should go heavier. And that'll be where the fuel cell goes. And other than that, I just have all small stuff to really hook up now. But, all the big stuff's mainly done. It's all like lines and fittings and the intake. That's about the biggest thing I have left to do. I have to put on the shift linkage, but I have a feeling I'll have the intake on it today, and all the fuel lines not really all the fuel lines hooked up, but the only ones I can't hook up are on the fuel pump. So that's the only lines I don't have, and I'm gonna have to buy an extra 6-foot fuel pump line. So other than that, I've got to fix the 2 wiring connectors, and I have to put the intake manifold on and go ahead and finish doing all the rest of the fuel lines for it. And other than that, I have a feeling that she will be 90% done today, and then after that I can get the fittings I need for the fuel pump, and put some fuel in her and just see what she does. Fire her up, see if she will even run. So it's kind of where I'm at today. I also have to tune it, which I've got my laptop to do that, and I'm running on Chrome right now. I do plan to switch to Honda, but right now I'm using what I got, so this is what I got to use, and I'm going to use it. Well, anyways guys, that's going to be the first little recap of this video I'm going to do, and I want to say thank you guys, like and subscribe. What up guys, this is the second part to my video of my intake manifold. Basically on this whole setup I'm doing here, okay, so I'm kind of broke and cheap, and so I didn't have the money to go buy the expensive $40 Roscoe plate that goes over this. So instead I just made I kind of did my own little modifications here. Also the EGR plate, I just went ahead and made my own EGR plate. That works, it works great. Then I went ahead and tapped and threaded a plug down in here, and yes, I cleaned everything out between the EGR fittings, all the little metal shavings. I also tapped threads for this 10mm here, 10mm here, and the broken one there, which kind of sucks, but it's good. It's in there. I ain't gonna have to worry about nothing. I can take it out later, maybe. And a 10mm here. That blocks off all the EGR holes. I also had a broken little nipple fitting right here on the back side, and I went ahead and just pulled the piece of metal out and put some silicone on a screw and threaded it in there nice and tight. I don't really need that one, so I'm not really 100% worried about it. And the next thing I'm going to have to do for this intake manifold to work with how I want it, I do plan on running it on ID1000 injectors, but before I do that I'm going to test it out on my 750s, because my 750s match my plugs and I don't have to do any extra wiring right now. I don't actually have the plugs for the ID1000s right now, and I'm going to have to call up another supplier or store or someplace to get them. So maybe eBay or whatever. But right now I don't have those plugs, so I can't run those. But I do have some RC 750s, and I'm going to run those. And for me to run those, I'm going to have to modify the intake a little bit more. Basically, these holes right here are just a little bit too small. So I'm going to take my drill and I'm going to open up these holes a little bit, so that way my injectors can fit with clearance, and I don't have to worry about basically them breaking off, especially since they're 750s and they're good injectors, and I don't want to like damage them. I'd rather modify the intake around the injectors. So I'm going to do that, and I'll run her on the 750s for starters, and then I'll switch over to the ID1000s whenever I'm ready to tune. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get on to the next part of this video, and thank you guys, like and subscribe. What up guys, it's me, Brandon from G-Swaps again, and I'm just finishing up this intake manifold, and I just kind of want to stop and show you guys. Okay, so basically this is the size of the stock holes, and basically this injector doesn't fit. It's too fat. Fit down in there. What I want to do is bore these out so that it does fit. And that you can see on this one here, it's done. That one's good. This one here, it's done. It's good. So, it's not going to hit anywhere. It's got plenty of clearance right there. Basically, I've just taken my drill bit right here and just drilled these holes out just a little bit bigger. Kind of just wallered them out a little bit. Make it fit, But that's my RC 750, and that's what I'm going to run on this car right now before I run my ID1000s. Here's my ID1000s, and this is going to be ran after. And I'm doing that just because I have a tune for the 750s, and I can get my car running on that quicker versus going ahead and trying to figure out a tune for the ID1000s. Which, whenever I put those in the car, I'll be taking it to either Humble or PFI Performance. One of the two are going to tune my car. Humble's closer, so I'll probably go see Alex. And then after that, I might even take it to go see PFI too. I would love to meet the guys. But anyways, I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to get this all installed, and then I'm getting ready to put the intake on, and then I'm going to start wiring on the car. I also have to clean this too. It's got a little bit of metal shavings in it, but that is the price I pay to do the job. Alright guys, so we have the intake ready. I went ahead and put the RC 750s in here. Also have the AM fuel roll bolted. I've got the fuel fittings on. Also made my own custom fuel line that's going to come. Oh no. Fuck. Alright guys, so we got the new fuel line made, which is right here. It's Teflon fuel line. With AM fittings, it's going to connect right in here and go to my fuel filter on my firewall. But other than that, the intake is, I want to say, 85% ready to bolt on. I still got to put the throttle body on. That's about it. Bolt it to the car. Yeah, we're almost there, guys. It's been cleaned. Just a few more things, and I should be ready to get this thing ready for startup. I'm not going to run it on anything but brake cleaner today, so I don't have any fuel to run the fuel pumps and the fuel lines and everything, so I'm just going to bypass that and go and run it on brake cleaner. At least it'll get a good start and puff, so at least I'll know it runs. But anyways, that's the end of this video for right now, and I'm going to get back into the next one. Alright guys, boy do I have a treat for you. Okay, so from the last video I made, I went ahead and made all the fuel lines and got the intake on the car. This is basically the intake on the car. The car is actually running right now, guys. I got it running just a minute ago, and it runs great. I also calibrated my TPS. That's what this guy's here for. That's what I was doing, was just checking TPS signals, which I need to go ahead and fix that. But I adjusted my distributor where it seemed like it runs smoothest. Also, the turbo spool's fine. Seems like it runs good. I'm about to start her up just to give you guys a little recap. By the way, these are locked cams, so it lobes like a motherfucker. I do not have my radiator hooked up yet. I'm just doing just a quick starting, basically. There's no boost attached to the engine right now. It's just a turbo being spun, and I have basically nothing attached to my intercooler down there. So, as that being said, this is where I'm at, and I'm going to go ahead and start her up for you guys real quick. I gotta work on the interior next. But okay, key and start. Killer.